Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Pravajantam Manupetya Apetya Krityam Tapayana Viraha Katara Ajuhava Utreti Tan Maitaya Tadavo Binedus Tam Savabhutam Hridayam Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Bhaktya Vihina Parada Lakshay Kiptascha Kamari Tarangamadye Kripa Maitram Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanadavendam Tavevasmi Najivami Tvayavina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayanam Charanandike Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, we're going to continue hearing the beautiful Ananda Vrindavana Campu, and we will first offer our most humble obeisance unto the lotus feet of our beloved Gurus, unto Sri Guru Pada Padmanitya Bhavishta Om Vishnu Pad, Asto Tarasat Sri Srimad Abhayacharnaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, and Sri Guru Pada Padmanitya Bhavishta Om Vishnu Pad, Asto Tarasat Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and our exalted Rupanuga Guru Varga of the Simul Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So, according to different calendars, today is either the disappearance day of Sri Kaliya Krishnadas or Sri Saranga Thakur. But I think because we are observing the Dvadasi today, day after Ekadashi, it would be the disappearance of Kaliya Krishnadas. This is the calendar of the Gaudiya Math in Mayapur, the traditional calendar. Okay, so Kaliya Krishnadas is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, great devotee of Mahaprabhu. So many devotees of Mahaprabhu that we know little or nothing about. But a very brief story is told about him, that he had great reverence and honor for the Vaishnavas, regardless of their social position in society, Brahman, Shudra, Kshatriya, even outside. If they were Vaishnavas, he honored them. And he used to bring very first-class fruits to the houses of these Vaishnavas. And if they weren't Brahmanas, he would bring the fruits and they'd say, "Oh, Prabhu, we cannot offer these. You please offer them for us." But whosever house it was, he would then leave and then hide nearby in the bushes and wait until they had honored, served that prasad, taken that prasad. And when they threw out the skins and seeds, then and plates, in the little midden, everybody had one of those, right? Made out of leaf, cups and plates made out of leaves, pots made out of clay. It just goes back to the earth. Animals will come and take the remnants, but he would sneak over and lick the plates and suck on the seeds and the skins, and in this way honor the remnants of these Vaishnavas with great respect, feeling so humble. I just saw this short of Gaur Govinda Maharaj speaking, and he was emphasizing, it says, unless you become completely humble, you never go to Goloka Vrindavan. Completely humble, you'll never enter into these higher stages of bhakti. So this, and I mean, we really have to embrace that. genuinely feel this quality, right? Tarnad api sunichena torod api suhishtana. Amanina manadena kirtaniya siddhahari. We'll never be able to chant Shuddhanam continuously without cultivating utmost humility. And the more you know, the more you realize you should be humble. We're so insignificant in the grand scheme of things. And our gurus, Krishna, coming from above, have so mercifully come to deliver us. Such love, right? Such unmotivated, unrestricted compassion. So he would do that. And then finally he decided to go to Puri. This would be in the Navadvip area. And he went to Puri, and he went to see, he knew Mahaprabhu would go to the Jagannath temple every day, and before entering, at the gate, he would wash his feet. And he went there, and Mahaprabhu saw him. And Kalyakrisnas wanted to take the water from the foot bath of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu didn't let anyone do that generally. You know, the pastime during the Rath Yatra ceremony at the Gundicha temple, when that one Bengali Vaishnav took Mahaprabhu's foot water, Mahaprabhu became very angry at him, chastised him, and told Srup Damodar to correct him. So he would not let devotees do that, because in Puri especially, he was deeply absorbing himself in his mood as Srimati Radhika, tasting her moods. And Radhika, as the greatest devotee, also has the greatest humility. So Mahaprabhu would never want that people would take his foot water. But Kaliya Krishna came, and he was standing there wanting that foot water. And Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, I know what you want." And he allowed him. And his servant, Govinda, poured the water over his feet, and Kaliya Krishna was able to take that water. And he did it once, he did it twice, he did it 3 times. And Mahaprabhu said, "That's enough. You've got what you've come for." But he showed him this mercy. Why? Because Kaliya Krishna honored Vaishnavas so much. And this is, in his life, in that simple pastime that we hear, we understand one of the key elements of our own development. If we're not humble, we have to act humble, right? Practice humility. If we don't have a deep feeling of affection for Vaishnavas, we have to serve them. And not just serve our guru, but serve the disciples and servants of our guru and the servants of other gurus. All the Vaishnavas we should feel honor and respect for. If we want to act on the Madhyam platform, according to their position as well. We give love, devotion to the Supreme Lord and his pure devotees, his gurus, right? Acharyas, teachers, prophets. And those who are Vaishnavas, like us, we develop friendship, close affection and friendship. And for those who are innocent but ignorant, we show compassion and we help them, we teach them, right? And that means for devotees who are junior as well. You always show compassion. You don't lord it over. You don't try to control. You show love and affection. I just saw this little video of Gurudev in New Zealand many, many, many years ago. And they had just opened up a temple, and somebody was asking about how to get people to come. Because there, in many years there have been so many divisions among the devotees and politics and resentment over different kinds of improper treatment. And Gurudev emphasized the leaders of the temple should not try to control people. Right? Oh, I am the monarch. I am the Mahant. Right? You have to do what I say. Just show love and affection, and creating that atmosphere, people will come. That's the key. But the only way you can feel that is if we adopt the moods of personalities like Kaliya Krishna. We feel gratitude, and we feel gratitude even to innocents, juniors who are striving to achieve bhakti. Well, it's so inspirational to see people beginning, and it gives us an opportunity, if they're junior to us, to serve them and thus please our guru. And we should. That quality of showing love and affection, it has to be there. Otherwise, we won't advance to Madhyam, right? You have to rid these moods of resentment from our hearts. Suspicion, anger. What's the point? People are who they are. We just try to encourage them. You can't control them and force them. You have to bring them around by affection. You catch, what is that old saying? You catch more flies with sugar than with vinegar, right? So we're all flies, right? We're attracted by the sweetness of the teachings of our gurus. So Kaliya Krishnadas, great example, great teacher. So we're going to continue hearing about the gopis and their vow, a 1-month vow, worshiping Katyayani Devi. And when we left off, the month had been completed. I'm going to reread the last part so we move in with remembering the connection. Katyayani Devi was pleased with their pure offerings and regular worship. Thus, the gopis hoped to attain her grace. Indeed, just before the end of the month, they received the mercy of Devi. Everyone suspected that the gopis wanted wealth, like any ordinary human being, but the gopis did not want any wealth from their worship of Yogamaya or the Devatas. The all-auspicious Katyayani fulfills desires and bestows mercy and happiness upon those qualified with a pure heart. As Yogamaya, she will reserve and give her blessings, devotional blessings. As Mahamaya, if you're praying for material things, she'll come to you as Mahamaya and give you those things. But that is very insignificant, and we don't want that. That will take us away from our goal. Just like worshiping Govardhan. If so many people go to Giriraj and they pray for material blessings, which he will give, but that's not what he can really give. Right? So, they had a pure heart, and she reciprocated with the Braja Kumaris by appearing within their minds, saying, "Oh, auspicious girls, you are the embodiments of Krishna's conjugal attraction. You will attain all good fortune by worshiping Krishna. The devotees of Lakshmi, who fulfills all desires, do not worship other devatas to attain the favor of Lakshmi Devi. Your sincere prayer ornaments your heart and indicates your longing for Krishna. Your prayers also make me glorious." In other words, the fact that you've prayed to me, she's saying, for this boon, oh, this is very wonderful for me as well. Right? This is my real purpose. I'm being allowed to serve you in this way. Very soon you will attain the association of Krishna according to your individual tastes. Now you can stop your austerities. After speaking thus, Katyayani disappeared from their hearts. The words of the goddess greatly increased the gopis' faith. And this is the last thing we read. You'll remember this. On the last day of the vrata, the gopis felt quivering in their left arms, eyes, and thighs. These signs of imminent auspiciousness removed their fatigue and made them confident of attaining the fruit of their desire to enjoy with Krishna. As they considered how to best complete their vrata, the sun rose brilliantly in the sky. The lotuses responded by opening happily as the atmosphere saturated with immeasurable joy. Now the sun is also coming to give them comfort by warming them up, right? So, the gopis worshipped Devi. Wait, let me just make sure I have this right here. Okay, good. The gopis worshipped Devi with countless numbers of the best quality articles. Rejoicing over the successful completion of their vrata, the gopis liberally offered the various puja items. Anticipating the forthcoming result of their austerities, the gopis succumbed to a playful mood and stood up excitedly. After receiving the blessings of Katyayani, they took off their fancy pure silk saris and placed them on some clean ground. Following the local customs, They bathed naked in the Yamuna. Elated and enthused, the gopis joyfully pushed and squeezed each other. They were just all in the water, all banging against each other, having a great time. Basking under the warm rays of the sun, they were oblivious to the cold water. The blissful gopis created a captivating scene as they lost themselves in the fun of water sporting. So even though it's a cold month, cold time of the year, the sun now had come in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, all the seasons can be there at any given time. So for this point now, they're very comfortable in the water, right? The sun is shining down, warming them, and they're so joyful that the results of their vrata are going to be bestowed upon them. Katyayani has given them that assurance, and so they are completely lost in the fun of water sporting, thinking of their beloved Krsna and how they will very soon attain him. Meanwhile, according to the previous day's plan, the young cowherd boys walked towards the pastures. Hearing them approaching, the forest birds excitedly flew into the sky. You can imagine that, right? You see sometimes in movies, right? One of the things that they will use to indicate impending danger, whoever it is will be in the forest or on the road, and there'll be a bunch of trees nearby, and some threat is coming, and all of a sudden, all the birds fly into the sky, right? And you look, oh, somebody's coming, something's coming, right? So now all the cowherd boys and Krsna and the cows, they're coming, and all the birds, they're like a harbinger, oh, Krishna's coming. A harbinger of something good, though, not something bad. Sometimes harbinger is used in that scary way. It's going to be a little scary, but scary in a delightful way. So the birds are indicating Krishna's on the way. Though Krsna is very strong, he is conquered by the intense love of his dear friends like Balaram. Although he is independent, Krsna became controlled by the pure love of the gopis and thus moved in their direction. So once again, we see that Madhurya Ras reigns supreme in Vrindavan, and all the other relationships, Krishna's enjoying with everyone, but ultimately everything is meant to assist Madhurya Ras. So even though he takes such great pleasure in the company of Baladev and his cowherd friends, they're now being used as a pretext. Oh, we were supposed to go here the next day. Krishna knew they're going near the whole group of them where the gopis are bathing. Right? Nobody else knows that, but Krishna knows that. So he is controlled by the pure love of the gopis and thus moved in their direction. He's pulled by their love. The prema of the young gopis reached perfection because it had the desire to give bliss to Krishna as its only goal. Right? Nothing separate. No anya bilash. Nothing separate. Only give bliss to Krishna. And even the queens in Dwarka have some mixture of desire. Right? They want Krishna as their husband. It gives them great happiness to have Krishna as their husband, to have children with Krishna, to be his queens. There is some scent of personal desire there. It's pure, but it's not like the gopis. Not like the gopis. They have no separate interest. Everything they do, even though it appears to be sometimes in their dialogue, it may appear as if it's selfishly motivated, it's not. Even their arguments, their criticism, everything they do is to stimulate Krishna's love. And their desire to be Krishna's wives is so that they can be with him and serve him and make him happy. So, the prema of the young gopis reached perfection because it had the desire to give bliss to Krishna as its only goal. In order to dispel the pain of their longing, Vrindavan Chandra, the master of all masters of mystic yoga, showered nectar from his flute. Taking the qualities of the young girls as his necklace, Krishna left the happiness of herding the cows and playing with his intimate friends. He went to perform pastimes with the gopis in order to make the bud of their heart's prem blossom into a flower. Right? A bud of a flower is very beautiful, but as it opens up, it becomes increasingly beautiful. And when it fully opens, it not only displays its beauty to the eyes, but its fragrance is also released. And now he wants to allow the love of the gopis to fully bloom, and that will happen when they meet with him. The gopis' cherished desire to meet Krishna had been steadily growing throughout the year. Leaving the company of Balaram and the older boys, Krishna took some of his young friends and went to enjoy with the gopis. These blissful boys had spotless characters and beautiful forms that resembled toy dolls. Secretly and unseen, Krishna arrived amidst the gopis. He wanted to award the gopis the fruit of their endeavor and at the same time relish a playful pastime. All the pastimes, the Leela controls how prem can be tasted. They serve prem and set the conditions for it, right? And so this is a very beautiful, beautiful pastime. And it should be understood in that way. It's all about pure prem between Krishna and his beloved Brajadevis. So, thus Krishna, who is the color of a new monsoon cloud, who attracts the gopis and is attracted to the gopis, who always befriends his devotees and who gives happiness to all, but never inflicts pain on anyone, prepared to enact his pastimes. Krishna tied his hair under his turban, pulled up his cloth, and quieted his ankle bells. With a glaring look, Krishna silenced the silly talking of his young friends. Then Krishna crouched down and cast a few furtive glances while smiling mischievously. So he's enjoying this very much, sneaking up to grab their clothing, making sure they can't see him. Very stealthy. Although Krishna is an unfathomable reservoir of steadiness and all other good qualities, he often displays a unique type of fickleness, right? Fickleness, right? Unsteadiness, changing back and forth, right? So now, even though he's a reservoir of good qualities, he's showing the mentality of a thief. And although he's, someone who should respect and honor and give great pleasure outright to the gopis, even be submissive to them, that's one kind of hero. Here, he's another kind of hero. He's arrogant, and he's going to put them in difficulty, right? But it's going to be very sweet. So he's adopting the mood of a thief, and Krishna arrogantly snatched the gopis' clothes and slung them over his shoulder. After hushing up his little friends, Krishna quickly climbed to the top of a kadamba tree. Sitting on a branch, Krishna glanced toward the gopis and listened to their talk. At that time, the young gopis, who were praised even by the goddess of fortune, desired to stop bathing. So what was their talk? It's all Krishna Katha. They're all talking about Krishna and how very soon we're going to be with him. He'll be our husband. Remember, that talk is so sweet, so pleasing to the ears, but it's also, remember, when they speak Krishna's name, Krishna himself is in that name. He's on their tongue. And the fragrance of Krishna's form emanates from their mouths, right? They are just embodiments of love, sweetness, and beautiful fragrance, right? So, now, the inspiration in their heart, we've bathed enough, we should stop. Not seeing their clothes on the bank of the river, the gopis thought with surprise, who stole our clothes? There is no one here except the rays of the sun, and on the banks there are only the footprints of some water birds. Perhaps the devatas have hidden our clothes somewhere, because when they visit, they do not touch the earth nor leave any footprints. So Krsna is the greatest of mystics, the leader of the devatas. And even in this world, I remember reading some literature when I was younger about the skill of certain Native Americans and how they could walk undetected and not leave a trace. Even though they're walking over grass amongst leaves, they were so expert, right? They had this capacity. So who's more expert than Krsna? He's walking over that sand, that soft sand, to grab their clothing, but he didn't leave any footprints. Or if he did, he covered them, with a little branch or something and made it in, I don't know how he did it, but no footprints. Now, the gopis are looking fearfully here and there while arguing over the various possibilities. The waves of their sidelong glances skimmed across the surface of the Yamuna. What a vision. The waves of their sidelong glances skimmed over the surface of the Yamuna. The gopis scanned all directions with their wide blue eyes that resembled the petals of blue lotus flowers. Radhika has blue eyes, we know that. These gopis, her Kayavyuha, and those who are being brought into the company of these Kayavyuha, blue eyes. Their unparalleled beauty astounded the whole universe. The glances of the gopis resembled rows of glittering shapari fish darting to and fro. Not finding their clothes, they submerged in an ocean of sorrow. Right? When you see in the river or in the ocean sometimes these schools of fish, very colorful, sometimes these fish, and reflecting the light of the sunlight, zoom, 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 back and forth, quite beautiful. And this is like the gopis' eyes moving here and there. Seeing their plight, now they're very, oh no, now what are we going to do? Can you imagine? You ever had one of those dreams where all of a sudden you're in the middle of some place and you've got no clothes on? It's a famous dream people have, you're naked in the middle, and now what do I do, There's anxiety, right? Imagine the gopis, so sweet, so pure, so chaste. They've gone a distance from their village in a secluded place, and now their clothes are nowhere. Now what are they going to do? How will they get back? Can they even come out of the water? What if somebody comes along? Their hearts are like palpitating with fright and uncertainty. Seeing their plight, the young prince of Vrindavan, who removes the sadness of the world, assumed a splendid aura of beauty as he sat on the Kadamba tree. His natural effulgence easily eclipsed the radiance of the sun. At this point, we already heard how sun is so bright and warming. Now Krishna sitting in that tree, brighter even than that sun. Right? Splendid aura of beauty. While smiling at his young gopa friends, Krishna joked with the gopis in a sweet, clear voice, soaked in a nectar unknown even in the heavenly planets. Krishna said, "O young girls, you should not be so disturbed by this. I have stolen your pure, sparkling garments just to attract your minds and relish some pleasurable pastimes. Using your pearl necklaces as an offering, give up your pride and come here alone or come all together to get your clothes." So in this recitation, we're not hearing the earlier part where he's denying having taken the clothing, and they're accusing him in so many ways. It goes right to, I have done it. Come and get your clothing, and give me an offering, right? Give up your pride, and either come alone or all together, come and get your clothes. The fruit on the vine of the Katyayani vrata, which is difficult for others to attain, had now spontaneously ripened for the gopis. Drinking the words flowing from Krishna's mouth, which indicated his greed for them, the gopis savored a stream of ras-filled nectar. They saw it as an exclusive gift, awarded to them on the auspicious completion of their vrata. In this way, the gopis overcame the fatigue from executing their austere vow. So right away, he's telling us the gopis understood that now they've achieved what they want. They're so happy Krishna's come. He's speaking to them. We haven't seen their reluctance to come out before him manifest yet, but his joking words indicate his love for them. And this is what they wanted. And not only his love, his greed for them. Right? And this is a stream of ras-filled nectar. Krishna is the very form of rasa itself. So this is the perfection. Now, what are they doing? Lowering their eyelids in shyness, the gopis cast sidelong glances to reprimand that expert thief who fulfills all desires. Krishna's appearance seemed like some good fortune arriving at the wrong time. Oh, he's here, but the circumstance, not like this. Oh, no. We should have gotten our clothes and then he could have come. Their extreme joy forcefully propelled them to Krishna, yet simultaneously filled them with confusion. In this state of bewilderment, they ignored the coldness of the water and submerged themselves up to their neck. We can't go out there. What? What is he asking? They stood silently, without yielding to Krishna's demand. Those young girls with gleaming teeth and bashful faces thought that Krishna might not keep his promise to return their clothes. He's a rascal. He lies. How do we know if we come out like this, he'll even give us our clothes? This doubt, it's there, and there's good reason for it. Right? He might not keep his promise. Whispering among themselves, one gopi said, "Why not talk to him and defeat him with your clever words?" But being controlled by Yogamaya, none of the gopis could respond to Krishna's request to collect their clothes. And this happens at other times too. Remember when they first appeared responding to Krishna's flute playing on the eve of the Sardiya Ras, when Krishna challenged them and told them to go back home, they were so overwhelmed with prema and they were temporarily confused. They couldn't respond to him appropriately and forcefully. So here, same thing. They're overwhelmed with prema and joy, but they're also confused with bashfulness, uncertainty, so many conflicting emotions. Yogamaya is controlling them. So, in their silence, the faces of the gopis, encircled by dark blue locks of hair, looked like rows of half-open lotuses surrounded by quiet bumblebees. Oh, what charm they added to the bank of the Yamuna. For a long time, the gopis deliberately refused to answer or look towards the Kadamba tree. Giving up their shyness, which had pervaded them like an internal disease, the gopis finally spoke in such a way to show their disgust with Krishna's naughty behavior. Now they're getting they've composed themselves, they're getting their strength, they're a little indignant, and appropriately so, right? But indignation, again, it's a mood of prema. The sweet dancing of their lotus eyes and the darting movements of their eyebrows captivated all directions. The gopis showed their shyness through their affectionate solicitations and entreaties that appeared both witty and respectful at the same time. Their smiling faces created waves of sweetness as their teeth reflected on the water. So, let me see something here. All right. We've been doing these classes about 35 minutes. And now their argument is about to start. So we're very eager to hear this argument, but we want to hear it in context continually, back and forth. So we're going to restart from this point tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada always kept it 30, 35 minutes. For this topic, we will do the same. So offering obeisance to our beloved Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, all the Sama Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis. We offer our most humble obeisance and eagerly await further pastimes in our Guru Puja. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.